Right, let me bring in Willis, the word master, straight from Kisumu County, joining us live. Willis, it's great to see you this evening. How have you been?
I'm good, Betty. How are you? You look cool.
Thank you very much, Willis. You look cool too. Willis, tonight I'm introducing someone who has been on the streets, you know, trying to be you, but on the wrong side. I want you to teach him some proper pronunciations, and I'm talking about Willis. I'm sure you've met him before. So tonight he's also going to be asking you some questions about some English pronunciations. Is that all right, Willis?
That's okay.
All right, great, great. All right, so let's start with word on the street.
Anastasia, Anastasia, Anastasia.
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 Anastasia. Anastasia. Anastasia.
Anastasia. Anastasia.
Anastasia. Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Anastasia. Anastasia.
Anastasia. Anastasia.
Anastasia. Anastasia. Anastasia.
Right, so Anastasia, how would you pronounce that word?
Anastasia. Okay. I think, I'm not sure, Willis. I think this word is pronounced anesthesia. Anesthesia. Am I right, Willis?
Willis, is that the correct pronunciation?
Betty, we say anesthesia. Anesthesia. Anesthesia, knee. Anesthesia.
Anesthesia.
A bit tricky. There you are.
Anesthesia, got it.
Anesthesia, Willis. Yeah, I think that's right. But for some of us who come from Shaurimoyo, that word can be quite a mouthful for us. So we have a simpler one. It's called mchele. Aliwekewa mchele kwa bia. Because the effects are the same. The anesthetic effect and the mchele effect, one and the same.
All right. Let's get to another word that almost means what he's talking about, Willis. Do we say sedate or sedate?
We say C. That letter E takes the sound E. Sedate.
Oh.
Sedate. But we say sedative. Sedative. The verb is sedate. But when we talk of the noun, we say sedative.
Okay.
The sedative.
Sedative.
Yes.
Got it, Willis. That's a surprise. I thought it was sedate, but as you say, it's actually sedate.
Oh, yeah.
Sedate. Got it?
If you're from Shaurimoyo, walimteveva. Walimteveva. They sedated.
You're a bad example. Willis, moving on to another word. I'll spell it out this time round. A-L-B-E-I-T. Albeit. How do we go about that one, Willis?
Well, Betty, one time I told you about what we call phonetic spelling. When you can pronounce a word the way it is spelled.
Okay.
For instance, banana, milk, and all that. But when we talk about this word, we don't say albeit. Albeit. This is a look and say word. You say albeit. Albeit.
Wow.
Not albeit the way we see the spelling.
That's a surprise, Willis. Albeit, not albeit, you know, as most of us say it. I'm sure Quelix also says albeit. Is that correct?
Albeit. Actually now, Willis, since my name is pronounced as A-B-E-L, then I guess my name from today will be Obil.
What happens when it comes to matters language, we have to be a bit careful we say and how, because you see, we have the learners who want to pick the serious aspects of what we say.
All right.
We were to, go humorous about some of the words, then it would be a bit confusing. But the point that you've made is very, very clear. That is, sometimes it's confusing When in one word we find a letter sequence in this way, in another word you find it in the other way, then the pronunciation becomes different. There are people who understand what we call the sound values of letters in words.
All right, got it. Have you understood?
Yes.
Way. Tough class, I tell you.
It's a tough class, this
Tough
one.
class, man.
Right, Willis, moving on to another word. I'll also spell this one out. G-U-S-T-O. Gusto, gusto. How do we go about that one?
You say gusto, gusto.
Oh.
Letter U takes the mid-central vowel sound, gusto,
Okay.
gusto.
Gusto. Got
Yes.
it. I will be honest, Willis. I usually say gusto. It's so much gusto.
Oh yeah, me too. I think it's a Kamba thing.
It
Willis.
happens. It
It's a Kamba
happens.
thing.
I know.
Well, Willis, let me teach you something. A Sheng alternative of this word is actually chocha. Chocha. Uchalia na chocha mbaya.
I'm sure Willis won't be saying chocha anytime soon.
That would be lovely for some audience anyway.
Got it, Willis. Moving on to another word, and
Yes.
this one is a difficult word. Laryngitis, is that the correct pronunciation of this condition?
Oh, you are talking about what we call laryngitis. Laryngitis.
Okay.
Not laryngitis. Just like, Betty, we don't say meningitis. We say meningitis. Meningitis.
Meningitis.
Laryngitis. So those ones are a bit tricky.
So, Willis, you're saying meningitis, is that correct?
Don't say meningitis.
Okay.
You say meningitis.
Wow.
Meningitis.
That's a surprise, Willis. That's a surprise.
Oh yeah, it is.
I'm sure it was a surprise to you.
Yes, I know.
I have no Sheng comeback for that one.
All right, Willis, moving on to Willis, there's this word that we've been talking about lately in the news. El Nino, especially journalists, we don't know how to quite go about this one. What is it, Willis? El Nino, El Nino.
You have two acceptable pronunciations, Betty.
Okay.
You say El Nino, but remember, when you say El Nino, it's also acceptable. Both. They are words with alternative pronunciations. I talked about finance and finance the other time. You also talk about annual and annual, opportunity, and somebody may say opportunity, especially when we're talking about the North American English.
Got it, Willis, got it.
So the word is El Nino.
Yes, yes.
So I was right.
You are right.
Oh yes, I was right.
El Nino.
All right, Willis,
In
we want...
Sheng Quellis, how do you say it?
Yeah, it's just mvua kibao. Una mvua kibao. Oh, that's how we laugh in Shauri Moyo. We only have 4-second laughs.
I know.
Oh yeah.
That is
Nothing
good.
can amuse you more than 4 seconds in Shauri Moyo. Don't be cheated.
Willis doesn't know where Shaurimoyo is. Willis, when you come to Nairobi, I think I'll take you there.
Oh yes.
Willis, moving on to another word. Do we say a multi-millionaire? Is it multi? Also going to multiple or multiple? Confusion there, Willis. Tell us about
Sometimes with languages, Betty, there is something called hypercorrection.
that. Okay.
Hypercorrection is that situation in which you may think you are right. You may think what you're doing is good.
Yes.
But without knowing that it's not right or it's not correct. So like we talk of multi, multi, anti, demi, semi. But you'll hear the North American variety of pronunciations, that is in terms of the prefixes or what we call combining forms. You may hear of multi, you may hear of semi, anti, and somebody may call it Shaurimoyo, you never know, depending on how you judge it. But when we talk about serious matters or matters of language, you have to be very careful on what you how you put it.
Okay. All right, Willis. Got it, Willis.
Yeah. Actually, let me educate him a bit. In Sheng, multi, Willis, is fogo. Fogo. Mean too much or many. Multi. Fogo. And fogo, Willis, does not have a short vowel O. It comes with a mid-central vowel O. Oh, fogo. Fogo. Yeah. Fogo, like Fogo Gaucho. Fogo.
Willis, someone has been watching you
And
a
how
lot.
did you say you laugh in Shauri Moyo?
Oh yes. Born and bred.
Willis, let's move on to another. Let's move on
Really
to.
enjoying your time, eh?
How can I not sitting next to her? 4-second laugh.
There
All
you
right,
are.
4-second laugh. Willis, let's move on to our feedback question very quickly. It's by James Boure, and Buore rather, and he was asking about this word that we commonly say, Wi-Fi. He is asking, is it Wi-Fi? You know, take us through that, Willis.
You say Wi-Fi, wireless fidelity, Wi-Fi. Don't say Wi-Fi. And when we talk of high fidelity, we have hi-fi, not hi-fi. So we should be aware of that.
All right, thank you very much, James Bourne. I'm sure he appreciates that.
And I am sure you have learned something today. Wireless fidelity.
Wireless fidelity.
Sio
For those-
waya ya findio. Wireless fidelity.
All right, Willis. Willis, do you have any surprise words? This guy is just something else. Is there
Well,
another word?
When we talk about a young female cow, most people say heifer from what they see, heifer. But the correct pronunciation, Betty, since we have that letter I as silent in that word, you say heifer, heifer. Avoid the I, say heifer. So don't say hey. Just like we say leisure, leisure. Don't say leisure because you're seeing that I. That I is not pronounced, Betty.
Okay, that's a surprise, Willis.
Oh,
Leisure, not leisure. And
Leisure.
heifer, not heifer.
Oh, yeah.
Willis, I can already see you lifting some more words there.
as usual.
Yes.
So, Betty, when we have this word up here, you will hear people talking about, I was at the dais, thinking this is the spelling of that word, which is wrong. We don't have D-I-A-S, we have D-A-I-S. That is the days, days. I'm giving a tick for that. So we should avoid dais and know that the word is pronounced as days. Just like I talked about yacht and yacht the other time.
Yes, I remember that, Willis. Willis, that's a serious surprise there. So it's days and not come to the dais. You hear a lot of that in function.
Yeah, if you're
I
an
believe I've been saying
MC,
dials for 29 years. Oh my God.
you don't say dais, you say the days.
Days. All right.
D-A-I-S.
D-A-I-S. Willis got it. Thank you so much. I'm sure you want to say thank you to Willis.
Oh,
You've
Willis,
learned something.
it is such a pleasure to have you here tonight. This is the first time we're meeting. I do not know how or why, but we need to meet more often. Because clearly we can both learn
What
a
is
thing
your
or
first
two.
name?
A-B-E-L. How do? Oh no, my names are actually Quelis Javelino Arapiego. Those are my new names
You
as
found
at
yourself
last week, but
saying
one.
A-B-E-L.
That's the name
the
that's on the
other.
ID.
Tell them to say Abel, not Abel.
Oh my God.
Able.
See you guys next
Willis
week.
has just
Thank you
schooled me
so
on how to pronounce my name.
Willis, thank you so much schooling him on how to pronounce his name for 29 years.
Oh yes.
And schooling us on not to say dais, but days. Thank you very much. Willis, the word master there, coming to us live from Kisumu County, teaching us those difficult pronunciations like albeit, not albeit.
Oh man,
Right?
that's a new thing, yeah.
That's a new thing.
Betty, let me teach you something on the heifer thing. We also have a version, a Sheng version of that word. When you advance to the higher levels of Sheng as a language, you come across something called reverse linguistics. Yes, that is where you take just pure Swahili words and reverse
This is the
them into...
camera.
Oh, this is the camera.
Yes.
And reverse them into Sheng language.
Okay.
So a heifer, Betty, in reverse linguistic is mbengos. Mbengos.
Mbengos.
You use mbengos, yondis.
Mbengos.
Yondis is ndio.
Oh, yondis is
Is ndio.
ndio.
That's reverse linguistic.
Okay, okay.
Umekashi.
I've understood
Oh,
that.
yes.
Yes,
Thank
I've
you.
understood. So we're supposed to take a break and go to sports news.
Oh yeah, with who?
Moses.
Moses, wewe shule ulikuwa na mchezo sana ndio kwa maana unasoma sport. Before we do.
Actually, I think I'm going to be doing it instead of Moses. Ametoroka vile umesema hivyo.
Oh my god.
All right, so
chew on a lollipop as you do your sports.
Thank you so much. This is honestly, this is all you could bring.
I come bearing other gifts.
Okay, fine. We'll take a look at them shortly. Fine. So let's take that breather, and I'm going to be back with the sports news, right?
Arapiego.